It's not just the suit that's from another era. When Rio Ferdinand signed for Manchester United in 2002 for £29 million, it was a Premier League transfer record. Fast forward 2 decades, and that would buy you about a quarter of Moises Caicedo. The new record, signed by Chelsea this summer for £115 million. Footballers are often treated like pieces in the great transfer game. The question is, are we valuing them correctly across the ages? The Sky Data team have adjusted the figures for inflation to reveal who really cost the most.
On paper, Moises Caicedo, the most expensive signing in Premier League history, but that's not the only way of looking at this in terms of value.
115 million would have got you, 4 or 5 of the best players in the world a few years ago. Now it gets you one defensive midfielder. A pint would cost you 50 quid now if they'd increased at the same rate as Premier League footballers had since the start of the Premier League. A loaf of bread would be about 25 quid and a pint of milk would be more than a tenner.
By sticker price, these are the 5 most expensive signings. Moises Caicedo through to Romelu Lukaku. But if you adjust for inflation, well, this is the new top 5. Andriy Shevchenko in first place. He cost £31 million in 2006. That will be worth £215 million now. We've got Rio Ferdinand there and Alan Shearer. Well, he'd be worth nearly £178 million today. He cost just £15 million in 1996. We can also look at which clubs have spent the most adjusted for inflation. The story of money and power in the league. Blackburn Rovers falling down, so do Newcastle. As we get new entrants, Chelsea coming in under the Roman Abramovich era and starting to spend big. Manchester City too, they're coming up the leagues as they're taken over. And then we start to look a lot like what's referred to as traditionally the Big Six in terms of spending and in terms of league position.
We have now clubs which are owned by countries or owners from other countries who have a lot of money and are also able to invest this into football. And then you have TV contracts which are completely different to TV contracts 20 years ago.
And after a COVID lull, transfer fees increased again this summer. With Saudi cash now arriving too, there's even more money on the table. Tom Cheshire, Sky News.